Hi, my name is Cheryl Nomanson, and I'm a senior technical trainer with SolarWinds Academy. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what the SolarWinds Platform is. The SolarWinds Platform represents common functionality across all of our observability offerings, our legacy modules, and even our integrations with products like in database and in ITSM. So, what exactly does that mean? Well, let's talk about that platform. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box here that's going to represent the SolarWinds Platform. Okay, so the SolarWinds platform, as I mentioned, has common functionality. So what are some of those things? And I'm going to abbreviate them in this box, but I'll tell you what they are. First of all, we have things like capacity planning. We also have things like predictive analysis. We have event correlation. That one should sound pretty familiar as well. We also have anomaly detection. And we have root cause analysis. And we also have autonomous operational resilience. We'll be speaking more to that one as we go. So we'll call that autonomous operational resilience. So these types of capabilities are universal in the platform. And customers utilize these capabilities both on-prem and in the cloud. Well, how? Well, that really depends on what your environment is and what kind of your needs are for monitoring that environment. So to understand how customers use this platform, we first need to understand the customers that we serve a little bit better. So our customers, I like to think of our customers as residing on a spectrum. So let me just draw this. On the spectrum, we have customers over here that are 100% on-prem. And this can be to the point where these environments have no internet. Like high security environments, they're cut off. There's no internet access whatsoever. Everything is in-house. All the way over to the other end of this spectrum, which is our customers that really don't have any infrastructure. They do everything in DevOps, everything's in the cloud, everything's SaaS-based. They don't manage anything on-prem, so to speak. These, of course, are the two extremes of this particular spectrum of customers. Okay, well, we have customers in both of these extremes. I think we could probably agree, if this is our 50% mark, that most of our customers kind of exist around that, right? We have a lot of customers that are all on-prem, but they have internet access, right? And we have customers that are on-prem, they have what we call self-managed servers, which would be more like a hybrid environment where they have servers that they manage in AWS and in Azure. We have customers over here that are cloud, and they might have a little bit of infrastructure. Our customers will move back and forth on this spectrum. This is a very dynamic model. It's not very static. So we'll have customers that have moved a lot into cloud, and then maybe they repatriate some of that back to on-prem. So customers move around on this as well. So how do we use this SolarWinds platform to support all of these customers, not only where they are now, where they're going and where they come back to, or where they just land from day to day on this spectrum? We want to be able to meet all of these customers' needs, and this platform can do that. These monitoring environments can also be very, very different and have different monitoring needs. So you can't just have one solution for everyone. And we'll talk more about that as we go. So first of all, let's talk about what we call observability self-hosted. And that's going to be for the customers over in this area of the spectrum. SolarWinds Observability Self-Hosted. Okay? SolarWinds Observability Self-Hosted is installed in the customer's infrastructure. It offers on-prem, hybrid, self-managed server monitoring or device monitoring, self-managed again being those servers in AWS and Azure, through this monitoring solution, which, as I mentioned, is installed on-prem. Now, this solution has very effective, very mature monitoring tools and capabilities that are designed to monitor this type of infrastructure, your on-prem, even your cloud servers, containers, things that you would have that are self-managed. Now, the capabilities in this originally come from our legacy modules, which sold very successfully as standalone solutions for a very long time. In the last few years, we moved to observability. Why do we do that? Because the IT landscape kind of had us do that. You may notice in IT now, it's not nearly as siloed as when some of us were doing a lot of sysadmining, where everybody had their own silos and their own jobs and their own worlds, so to speak, and they were very siloed from each other. Those silos don't exist much anymore. The environment is very integrated. So we moved to observability because that's where the IT world moved. And as a software company, if you don't move and stay with the current times, you do get left behind. So we do have observability now to meet the needs of a less siloed world. So it's more of a natural evolution. Now, we do still support the legacy modules. Those are definitely still supported. We have customers that still use those as well. And they are supported on this platform. We also have what we call plugins or a plugin integration. And that would be those integrations to things like Patch Manager and to Database Performance Analyzer. Those are all still supported. So we support all of that, plus the legacy modules, all of that, again, for the on-prem and the hybrid and the self-managed servers, that really kind of helps support all of those. So on this spectrum, we're out to probably about here, but definitely staying on this side of the spectrum. And this is a very effective solution for them. Now, our cloud-native customers over here, their needs are something that's very different from monitoring tools on self-hosted. The monitoring needs are very, very different. I think anyone that's monitored an application on-prem, on an on-prem server, and an application in the cloud would agree that pretty much the only similarity between that monitoring is that they're both called applications. It's very, very different. So you can't just pick up a self-hosted model and drop it in the cloud and say, this is what our cloud people need, because their monitoring needs are entirely different and it doesn't even match. The tools do not serve the purpose that they need. So what is monitored and how it's monitored is very different. So you have to have a solution for those customers. So also running on the SolarWinds platform, we have SolarWinds Observability SaaS. SolarWinds Observability SaaS is a true SaaS solution. It runs in a true SaaS environment. It is specifically developed with cloud-native monitoring in mind. And what we did is we've incorporated some of the very popular features from some of our cloud monitoring tools like Loglay, AppOptics, and others into this product, and then we continue to develop more features in the product itself. So this satisfies our SaaS people. So you can implement both of these solutions, but now you have two standalone solutions that run the same platform, run the same functionality, but I'm monitoring this one here and I'm monitoring that one there. Wouldn't it be great if those could work together? Well, you know what? You can. You can bring these two together. And the way that we do that is there are multiple ways. And once again, it comes back to what makes sense for the customer's environment. We have features called Platform Connect. We have Network Collector. And they bring these two solutions together. Now, which one do you use? You don't use both. You would use one or the other, and it's the one that makes sense for your environment. If you have a large cloud presence, and you just have a little bit of on-prem, and basically what you're interested in is just making sure the lights are on, making sure there's no fires that you don't know about, making sure that everything's just working, right? But you're really focused on monitoring cloud. So you probably have Observability SaaS. In Observability SaaS, there's a feature called a Network Collector. And what it can do is be installed in your infrastructure environment and send monitoring and alerting data up to your Observability SaaS web interface so that you can make sure the lights are on, make sure everything's fine. It's an environment that just isn't enough to justify maybe installing self-hosted. Okay, so customers that are maybe a little bit more on this side of the 50% mark, they got a little bit of this, they got a lot of this. Well, what about the other way around? What about customers that live heavily on this side They do have a little bit up here. Like you've got a lot of infrastructure on-prem, self-managed, and then maybe you have some websites that are SaaS-based for online sales and transactions. So you got a little bit of that going on as well. But you have observability self-hosted because you have a very mature infrastructure that you're monitoring. That's where you use Platform Connect, which is a feature of observability self-hosted. Platform Connect connects out to observability SaaS. Now, the interesting thing about this is that even if you have a very small SaaS environment, you have very, very friendly licensing here for licensing just the entities you need to monitor for a small environment. So you would have a license of observability SaaS. You would be able to see very detailed information coming from observability self-hosted about your entities, very detailed components and networking data in your observability SaaS web console, and you could monitor what's going on. But what Platform Connect also does is for customers, even if they don't have any kind of a SaaS environment, you can still use Platform Connect to connect out to the SaaS platform, which has AI technology and machine learning technology natively built into it to do anomaly-based alerting. Okay? So if you have anomaly-based alerting, you can use Platform Connect to use anomaly-based alerting in your observability self-hosted environment. So it allows you to keep an eye and see what's going on with your entities, but also use anomaly-based alerting. The other piece of that is, again, remember that AI technology and machine learning is native in this platform here. So you may have heard us mention Agentic AI in SolarWinds Observability Self-Hosted. That will also use Platform Connect for that Agentic AI to work, because it will utilize the AI technology here to use that in your self-hosted environment. We also have integrations for incident response, ITSM, and database observability. So with all of these solutions, I think we can see that the SolarWinds platform supports customers wherever you fall on this spectrum, whether you're 100% on-prem or in cloud, or like most of our customers, somewhere in between. You can deploy one of these solutions, and which one you deploy really kind of depends on your environment, what makes sense for you, and what you want to monitor. And then you can bring them together with these connective pieces. Remember, the SolarWinds platform itself offers capacity planning, predictive analysis, event correlation, anomaly detection, root cause analysis, and autonomous operational resilience. And I want you to keep a close eye on this one as we continue to develop this Agentic AI component. If you want more information about anything that we've covered today, please make sure that you check out the product forums on Thwack and that you check out the on-demand and instructor-led courses in SolarWinds Academy. Thank you for watching.